this map. Going to determine a lot about the rest of this series. Can ByuL do it? Or INnoVation going to mech again?
That's the question, Moonglade. It's time for game number 3, ByuL versus INnoVation. Down here in the bottom left, in red, it's ByuL.
And up here in the top right, we do have the blue Terran, INnoVation, Mechavation.
Making it happen. Mech and ByuL feel pretty upset.
Let's get mecha'd.
Ooh. That's what's going to happen, Moonblade. Stripping down, getting rid of those last few Marines, and then it's all mech, baby.
That's it. Yeah.
Fourth base online. No more E-base needed. Get that building armor, the turrets.
Build that wall, man.
You know, INnoVation's got that, you know, the EXO cards as his picture, man. Maybe he likes to play a lot of mech poker where he just strips away every piece of bio that could ever be part of the game.
That's it.
He makes, when he wins, he makes ByuL cancel Baneling's speed. He's like, take it off.
Take it all off. So bad. Well, I was hoping for a gold base. No, that would be silly. None of that. None of that. Just going to be a normal. Just a quick scout to make sure no proxies are on the way.
That would be super cool if INnoVation went for a 2-barracks proxy. That would be totally unlike him.
You know, he was doing that against Sue at the Gamescom Grand Finals. You know, really mixing it up in a big way, going bio, mech, proxy 2-racks. He was busting it all out. It made sense at the time. It was such an old style. It can be. It's kind of like figured out at this point if it's scouted, but it's still very powerful if they're not expecting it, which is what maybe we see ByuL kind of worried about.
That's the kind of thing that can happen, especially in a team match as well, which is why I was really happy that Zest versus TY match didn't end up being crazy like that. It was just much more like skill-based, we want the win sort of team match there. All right, well, something that we might have seen was that early gold base, the early forward hatchery behind the ice, but ByuL's playing the standard. Doesn't necessarily mean that with this gas he's taken early, he's not going to be aggressive with roaches or something like that, but I feel like that's the way to play it. I don't want to see him try to play late game versus ByuL. I mean, excuse me, versus mech.
I think it'd be a good idea because you can go that backdoor ice as well. So I agree completely. If he decided to go a little bit more aggressive this time around, it would make a lot more sense in this kind of map, especially. That backdoor ice just opens up so many more avenues of attack and makes things so much more harder for the Terran to defend and go into mech style comfortably.
Yeah. All right, well, there's the factory coming down. The first step of mech.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily, but if it is mech, you need that factory.
Yeah, let's see if he wants to go out in this map. I'm going to be very curious for that.
Yeah, well, second gas coming up here. That's something that ByuL is likely to scout in just a moment. By the way, guys, so far been a great series. It's 1-1. Do spread the word about this. Get out there and tell people to jump into this tournament. It's just been so sick so far. We've already had one round of 4-player decided, and we're going to find our second one here.
And that first series was amazing as well, so be sure to check them all out. This is going to be, I think it's going to be a fantastic round of 8, one of the best we've seen.
Yeah. Last season's was incredible as well.
Oh, this Overlord.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
He did see the gas, though.
There we go. Found the good spot. Ooh. Oh, a little bit further over. There we go. Hugging the ice there.
Marina's like, ah.
He's looking for it. Like so many other things are happening right now, but he's looking for it. These two things working on the ice already. Perhaps the thing happen in the future here. Once they bust them down 5 minutes into the game. 5 minutes more.
Yeah, he's made a few extra overlords here. Actually, I take it back. He's got just about the right amount. He's making 2 at the same time, so that threw me off. But just threatening this ice, it looks like. He's not going to be going for anything super early. Instead, just going to go into mutas pretty quick here. But we don't have any evidence yet of full meching.
No, not just yet. You know, we are seeing that Viking on the way. No use of that tech lab on the barracks yet. But if he wants to, we see that stim come up. Obviously, it will be the ByuL choice. Making sure he conceals it in a big way there. You know, map control with Hellions as well as the map control, map denial with Vikings. But uh-oh. Rax is moving. Where are we going to see? We might actually see a factory go down and more mech on the way.
Starts to seem that way. The Vikings out. Hellion run by going to get shut down by these Lings again. It's like, I guess maybe that's why we didn't see so many Hellion run bys last game, is ByuL just is not having it.
Yeah, he certainly shut it down in the early game, but you know, when you got 3-3 mech on the map, Hellions are just such a cost-efficient thing and such an economic. They destroy everything. Destroy all the economy is what I'm trying to say. I mean, we did see in the past Sue have so much trouble against this kind of style where, you know, it's just a handful of Hellions running across the map, destroying the entire base in terms of economy, destroying every single drone in just a couple of shots.
No. Well, going over here, looking at this ice, looking at this base. Pro tip: Hellions fire doesn't melt ice.
It should though, shouldn't it? It should do extra damage to ice. Wouldn't that be a thing?
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it now. The ice is so thick that maybe the flame would just kind of be... It would do a little bit, but it wouldn't. It would just kind of... I don't know. I don't know how really thick ice works versus fire, man. I'm no scientist. It seems like it should melt faster, though.
It should, shouldn't it? I don't know.
It's like, well, bullets break ice, but fire doesn't do extra damage. I don't know about that. Hellions over here desperately trying to find something. Gonna see the 2 Evo chambers, but that's pretty standard. Not much happening here.
Yeah, it's same sort of opening, but this time we are going to see a Roach follow-up, which I'm very excited about. That Roach Warren actually in a pretty obvious place at that third base there.
Yeah,
Scan goes down and
Scan
Spire.
Misses the Roach Warren, though. And he did go double Thor. So he's going to have the answer. This is what he did in game 2 as well. He was expecting Ulysses. That's what ByuL normally goes for, but... double Thor obviously not as good versus a big Roach switch.
Yeah, and it's going to be all about that backdoor, I think. That ice that's getting chipped away once again by Lings. You have a big Roach swell, and the timing behind that could just win the game. But we do see INnoVation's very on point of denying Lings hitting that ice.
Wonder how effective this is actually going to turn out to be. 17 Roaches. The ice is still up. He does have 2 Thors. He needs to identify this. Okay, he's got 2 Seed Tanks about to pop as well as his +1 is on the way. He needs to identify where the Roaches are coming from and set up a defense. Defending both the ice and his third base is going to be somewhat of a challenge. Part of the reason why Mech not as effective on this map.
Yeah, you know, spreading out the tanks is going to be such a difficult thing to do. Much harder than Iron Fortress, for instance, because of that, the way the third base is laid out. He's going to set 2 at the front, the first 2. That backdoor going to be so open. Roach speed is still a while away, and he does see the Roaches now, so he can kind of prepare himself to what might be coming.
Oh, cool. Kills this rock tower. He has, say, 2-3 siege tanks on top of this ice. Going to really weaken this push quite significantly. Burrow is done.
Oh, yeah. There's no way this is going to get through now.
He sees it 100%, yeah. Even 4 tanks he's committing to there. With the collapsible rock tower taken out, the high ground he's about to take, and how long it's going to take these Roaches to move across the other side with that tower down. So difficult to make this happen. But still, I mean, if you look at supplies, you can see that if ByuL's able to find a way in, if he can crack this defense, he can do a lot of damage. But I worry for him because the longer this game goes, the better the composition for INnoVation is going to be.
We do see this gold base up and running now. He's finally starting to drone it. That's going to give him a faster bank, that's for sure, so he can transition pretty quickly. But it's going to be about what? I think that transition, the natural transition from here would be into Hydra Viper if he wants to go down that style. But look at this. He's got to fully commit to a fight. Or at least half of one.
This is going to be tough. This wall is definitely the place to attack. And look at that. Gets in here, actually. This could do a lot of damage. This is what I was saying. If he cracks the defense somehow. Oh, he's hesitating a lot here. Actually wants to decide to, instead of going back into the main base, go and fight this army. Well, it's not really sieged up in a good position. Vikings have to land here.
He's going to trade. He's not going to wipe it out there. I would have thought maybe a commitment to the main base would be a better choice, but I guess he did all the SCV damage he could to the natural.
He's delaying a lot of mining here. He's going to kill a lot more of these units. This isn't over yet. If he committed to the main base, what he could have done is got a concave on the high ground and then actually started to kill the production. So I agree with you there. I think the main base might have been the better pick. I think he thought he had more potential to do damage than he did. Burrow movement was just not done before that fight. Stun in 3 seconds now, so that's another thing he was missing that could have actually helped him with this engagement. But he's got a follow-up, 28 more roaches.
Yeah, he's got a big follow-up. As well as in the main base, he could have ran in there, done all the SCV damage there as well after he dealt with all the SCVs at the natural. I feel like maybe he was expecting more tanks up there. Hard to say, but look at this. Oh my god.
That turret just seconds away from being done. Does finish though, and he's going to have to pop up. And pop up with the rest of his roaches. I think he took way too much damage there before he actually unburrowed though.
He's burrowing right in front of a turret. Not going to be the case here. I think he's going to have to transition.
He will, but he's done a lot of damage. I feel like it's going to be a feasible transition. You know, not the toughest transition to make, but he's actually just going 2-2 into more roaches.
Yeah, he really wants to try and end this before the tank count gets too big, and I can't understand that. He's got to be careful how he fights this though. So many tanks all sieged up.
I like this. Find a place where you're a little bit less exposed with your roaches.
Oh, here we go. This could do something.
Absolutely could. Unburrows, you're going to get 3 siege tanks essentially for free, as well as that Thor. And killing a lot of SCVs here as well. Hellbat's helping to tank. He's actually going from 2 sides. He can actually sandwich these tanks in between these bases, and that's exactly what he's going to try to do. INnoVation is taking too much damage here.
Not enough tanks left over either. I think these roaches should be able to wipe out everything else here. It's going to force him in a horrible place, and this is the problem with this map and going mech. I guess that first game really rattled INnoVation and made it so he just didn't want to go into that ByuL style again against ByuL.
The follow-up with Hydras is going to be really great. Don't know about attacking into this, though.
Look at the supplies right now. Double the supply with ByuL, and now it's 4 base, 1 being a gold against 2.
Yeah. And with 27 roaches to buffer for his Hydras, he's got options. Looks like he's going to go back on that ice. Kill that, so he's got the potential follow-up to hit at that location. Got to right-click on it, though. There you go. Wouldn't mind slightly annoying, but no big deal. I'm going to take the other gold base as a smart choice. You can help him reinforce. I have a ton of extra mineral income for making roaches and hydras. Hive is on the way for Vipers, no doubt. And he's just going to be able to blinding cloud this army. If INnoVation can ever retake a 3rd base, the amount of army size he can actually produce is somewhat limited by how many minerals are actually just simply put remaining on those 2 bases. Never going to be able to max like that.
No, it's going to be hard. He's going to try to retake it now. His tank count's pretty small, though. It's going to be a big problem if ByuL wants to jump on this. Currently see about 31 roaches on the map, so he certainly has enough if he wants to try for it. Look at that. Going to claim a tank.
Friendly fire even. That was pretty cool.
He's going to deny the drop, and once the scan goes down, it's going to hit this tank.
Oh, look at that. Another scan here. He sees that move. He sees a little dust there, but...
Oh, man. Look at that. Denying that 3rd for so long.
He's setting up for this attack, too. But he's got 2 ways he can approach this. One is using his creep to go into the high ground here, where the CC actually is, and then going down the ramp. Looks like that's the way he's going to approach this, at least with half of his army. The other way is to wedge between these 2 bases. And that's where the rest of the army goes.
And here we go. A lot of hydras this time around. It's going to be a bit harder to deal with the tanks, I feel. And there we go. A lot of them getting wiped out. Might want to wait till Vipers.
That would be the dream. He's going to get another Thor here and might actually be able to find his way into the main base. A bit timid, actually. But this 3rd base still isn't really mining. In fact, I'm not even sure if it's landed. He does have it landed now.
He's transferring SCVs now, but he's so far behind. I mean, 80 supply lead for ByuL. It's about him trying to close this out here. Doesn't want to let it go too long. Get the Vipers out, get the abducts you need, and win the game. Deny that 3rd again.
Yeah. It's just one of those issues. If you can't finish the game, even if you're massively ahead, sometimes the mech player just survives long enough to beat you. Kind of like what we saw in Game 2. Obviously, it's a very different situation. In this case, ByuL is much further ahead than he ever was last game.
Yeah, this is kind of unlosable unless you really make a huge mistake. You throw your Roach Hydra into siege tanks too many times.
Look at his bank as well. 2,200 in minerals and 700 in gas. 2-2 to just +2. No plating whatsoever for INnoVation. And these 3 throw upgrades are on the way.
Oh, here we go, looking for the blinding clouds.
Oh, and these tanks are pretty stacked up, actually. He's going to go for the tanks on the ramp. The rest of the tanks exposed here on the low ground. A failed late siege up here. by INnoVation. But it's still not the best engagement here overall for ByuL. He just has too much stuff. It's not the best way to approach that, I feel, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's going to eventually wipe out these tanks, but man, that was costly.
GG.
Nicely done from ByuL. Up 2-1 now. One more game. He's broken the wall.
Yeah, man. Michael Jordan can do it. Maybe ByuL can too, man.
Maybe INnoVation. I think he kind of expected something like this to happen on that map. Never a favorable mech map to play on. You know, too many directions to defend.
Absolutely.
I was kind of hoping to see that kind of style on Iron Fortress as well, but maybe the positions were not favorable enough. You know, that sort of distance.
Do you remember the next map by any chance? It's escaping me. It's one of our smaller ones, right? So
I forget. We'll find out in a second.
Sure. Before we do, we are going to take a 5-minute break, guys. Again, spread the word about the 6-6 series. ByuL's one game away from the semifinals. We'll see you guys in 5 minutes.